Bring over State Senator Rob Sampson into the Daley Connerton Memorial Company interview chair. This is a person who I served with in the House, and he remembers with fondness, I would imagine. He's gone on to the Senate, though, where he's getting a lot of things done. It is great to see you, Senator.
Oh, it's always my pleasure. Thanks for having me, Gary.
And I always lead off with the same question, and then I deviate from there, and that is the memories of previous opening day. This is a special day.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, I think we're in a new era. I think the Republican Party is being reborn before our eyes. I think that maybe, a lot of your more conservative listeners are probably disappointed with the results in Connecticut, but they shouldn't be. Anytime the pendulum swings, there's a point at which it stops and hangs before it changes direction, and that's where we are in Connecticut. That pendulum is poised to come slamming back in the other direction. I really believe that. I think that, our value system as Republicans is on the rise across the country and in Connecticut as well. It didn't show up in the polls yet, but it will.
Senator, let me just stop you right there quickly, because there's a lot that you said I agree with, but it didn't reflect on Election Day. The Republicans, they broke through, Trump, I should say, broke through the red wall up in the Midwest. He won all of the swing states, okay, but he didn't really penetrate much here in the state of Connecticut. Even he broke through a little bit in New Jersey. He only lost by 5 points. New York, 10 points. Our neighbors to the north in Massachusetts, their legislatures, the Republicans gained seats. In Connecticut, we lost them. So everything that you're saying, I like, but how does that impact the state of Connecticut and the state of the Republicans in the state of Connecticut?
It's a feeling more than anything. I mean, we certainly picked up votes in Connecticut. I mean, across the board, I think 167 out of 169 towns actually gained for Republicans. It didn't show up in the number of senators and representatives, sure. But as I said, we are a little behind the curve for the rest of the country. The pendulum is hanging. I do believe that we are poised for a rebirth. We have new leadership in the state Senate. My good friend Steve Harding. Steve has put me in a very important position.
We're all together.
Yeah, I serve as senior deputy leader this time around. He's put me in charge of policy. Making as a Senate Republican caucus, and that should be great news. You're going to be surprised when we roll out our agenda this year. You're going to be like, this is the Connecticut Republican senators putting out this agenda, because it is a much more strong Republican initiative-led agenda.
That being said, how much of your time will be spent playing defense as opposed to trying to get your own bills passed when, let's face it, there's such a disparity between the caucus members of each party?
The most important thing we can do is stop bad legislation. And we proved at the end of last session that we could do that. We stopped gun control. We stopped the green monster bill that was coming. The Democrats got only a tiny fraction of what they were looking for last time around, and there will be more of that this time. I believe, Gary, that the best defense is a strong offense, and so does Steve. And I believe that we're going to come out hard. We're going to come out challenging the Democrats on every issue, showing that there is an alternative, that there's a true opposition party in this state, and we're going to stake our flag in the ground. We're going to walk into every room. I'm going to tell you, Gary, for me personally, I'm going to walk into every room, including the Senate chamber in a few minutes, as a majority party. Because Trump is our president, Republicans are controlling the national dialogue, and just because in little old Connecticut these few Democrats think that they have their little, fiefdom, it doesn't matter. We are in the majority. The people of the country know it, and I think Connecticut is catching on faster than anyone can imagine.
Well, we're not really in the majority. Not in the state of Connecticut. The Republicans aren't. But how important is a... Let's just say the rank and file voter. How important is a grassroots movement in order to get conservative ideologies across the board?
Yeah, it's huge.
Across the finish line.
And just a small correction. We are not in the numerical majority, but we are in the ideological majority.
Okay.
If you take any issue, I don't care if it's affordability, it's electric rates, it's crime, it's illegal immigration, Republicans are on the right side of every one of those issues. The Democrats have stepped in it. They are completely out of touch with the public, and it's going to show. It may not have shown up in the last election. I think there's a lot of distractions. The national election, the Trump, anti-Trump dynamic is a strong thing in this state. But you watch. I'm here. I'm playing. I'm not playing senator today. I'm playing. Nostradamus or something like that. I'm telling you, we are. Republicans are about to have a resurgence in this state. Mark my words.
When you talk to the voter, whether they're in your district or not, what's the number one issue for people in living in the state of Connecticut that you would like to address or see addressed?
Well, I think affordability is the number one thing for everyone. I mean, you can't even decide you're going to have a position or an argument about illegal immigration or crime if you can't feed yourself and pay your bills. But all of those things are interconnected, as you know. Every policy is interconnected. The immigration issue affects the crime issue. It affects the affordability issue. We're paying for a lot of illegal immigration. Housing. I serve as ranking on the housing committee, and that's an issue where, they're always bringing up, the lack of housing. Well, you got 165,000, maybe more illegal immigrants living in the state of Connecticut. I mean, that's obviously affecting the amount of available
Without
housing.
a doubt.
Yeah. So, I mean, all of it's interconnected, but affordability is the standout issue.
We will get you on more often now that you have your titles, and I love your enthusiasm. It's infectious. So we're going to be checking in with you more often. Meanwhile, listen, the day is about you guys. Enjoy it. Great having. I appreciate you also giving up some of your time this morning and joining us, State Senator Rob Sampson.
Gary, thank you for doing what you do. I mean, without you on the airwaves, promoting our message and sharing what's going on in the world with people, I mean, we would definitely be behind the eight ball. So thanks so much.
Daily, brother.
You
Best wishes, my man.
Thank you.
You got it. Okay.